In this video, I wanted to talk about the concept of shooting steel and shooting paper and how it kind of fits into your training and practice routine. So, training and practice, in my mind, they can be separated into two different things. A lot of times it's used interchangeably, and that's okay, but for the reasons of this video, I'm going to talk about them being two separate things, okay? So training is more in the context of developing a skill, and practice is more in the refinement of skills. So that's just the kind of the broad nutshell of what I'm going to be talking about. So shooting steel and shooting paper, would they actually be good for training? I think yes. I think you could actually learn to develop skills through shooting steel, but I also think that it would be useful from shooting paper as well. So what does each offer? Well, shooting steel gives you instant feedback, right? So this is like distance shooting. You can get that instant feedback. The saying that I used to always use is, if it rings, it's clean. So kind of like a steel challenge. If you ring that steel, then it's good to go, right? So if you're shooting steel, as long as you hit the steel, that's all we're looking for. Now, of course, there are cases where like a ricochet could hit steel and it'll ring. Kind of rare, depending on how low it's hanging. But shooting paper, that's kind of like something where you get a record. So if you're doing like a qual at the end of a training class and stuff, and you want to have a record of how you actually did, like when I did my concealed carry training, I mean, we could have shot steel for the entire thing, and it could have been like videotaped or whatever, but you know, you have a piece of paper where you're actually able to grade and stuff and take time and see how precise you actually were. So shooting paper allows you to see your general precision, whereas shooting steel gets to see your general accuracy, your ability to hit a certain area. So you got a difference between area accuracy and precision accuracy, or however you want to put that. So, you know, shooting paper gives you a lot of options as well, because you can set up, you know, for very little cost, you can set up paper targets in a lot of different areas, do target transitions, and steel is not cheap, but it's one of those buy once, cry once types of deals, unless you're going to be shooting with a rifle and trying to shoot at like close distance where you're going to have to get like, you know, fragmenting ammo and stuff like that, or frangible as it's called. So that's a consideration that you're going to have to make when you're buying steel or, you know, getting certain paper targets. Now, in general, I just print off my paper targets. I don't buy those huge silhouettes for the most part, unless it's like the CSAT targets. I think those are very functional, and I think they're very good targets, but I'll leave a link down in the description below for the CSAT targets. So, anyways, I've got an article all about this kind of training on my blog at adaptivecontact.com. So I'll link that down in the description below. So if you want a full, like, you know, little reading material about, you know, shooting steel versus shooting paper and how it can fit into your training, you know, read it there. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I know it's fun to shoot steel. Everyone's going to say it's more fun to shoot steel than it is to shoot paper. But, you know, each has its own advantages and disadvantages, all right? But let me know what you think about it in the comments below, and you guys have a good one.